What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. It is Friday. TGIF, isn't it? It's TGIF. What was I talking about? Anyway, welcome in. The big question, no, is Trump going to bomb Iran? All right. It's Friday. Everyone's leaving Iran. We'll keep close to that. Markets are definitely spooked right now. So we're going to be breaking that down tonight, as always, in the live stream. But yeah, I hope you're all doing well. Thank you so much for joining me. I do appreciate it. Again, it is... you know, it's a wild time right now in the markets. And as much as people might not think it is, it really, really is. So it is important to understand some opportunities while you're out there. And like I said, you can always make some money in this game, even when the market's going down. So I've been having great luck recently with some trades, but nailed the short trade today. So pretty pleased with that one, in fairness. Pretty pleased. I did set a short last night. The market just wicked me out again, but managed to catch it today. So pretty pleased. So we closed one trade out. I still do have one open right now. I'll share that with you a bit later on. It's not the biggest trade in the world, but we did close out one on Bitunix on a short, which is great. Okay, so yeah, we'll talk about price action. We'll talk about the fact that, look, the move, the crypto trap. And I know this is like a really generically used terminology, but we literally talked about this yesterday. We talked about the potential that actually this whole wick yesterday was sort of a bit nonsensical. This big move that we had 2 days ago sort of didn't really align to what I thought was going to happen. And looks like it's kind of played out what we expected it to do, which is we're now seeing some pressure, that we're like some sell-off pressure. And also we're potentially going to see this then quietly through the weekend. And I think then liquidity builds, and I think we see a push down next week. But data suggests that that would be the same idea as well. So we got PCE was hot, or PPI, sorry, was hot by 0.3, which is wild. We thought that was going to actually come in favorably. Didn't. So interesting. And obviously I was slightly weaker on the jobs market as well. So anyway, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Let's break down the Bitcoin price. Let's talk about charts. Let's understand price action and everything else. And if you're new here, by the way, do hit that subscribe button. We're very, 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 very close to 40,000 subscribers now. I think we need like 300 people, which would be amazing if we can hit 40,000 subscribers. Certainly in the next couple of weeks would be pretty bullish indeed. So given that has been said, let's dive into what's going on and let's talk about some price action. And we'll talk about some analysis here on Bitcoin. All right. So a couple of key things. Welcome in, Joyce. Good to see you. Magic Craig's here. Welcome, Tomato Pete. Avon. Good to see you there. What's going on, Brody? Welcome in. Fat Sonic in the house. Tomato Pete's here as well. Man, all the gang turning up. Let's get it, everybody. Like I said, hit the like button. Hit the share button as well. Do share the stream out. Let a friend know we are live. That would be pretty bullish indeed. All right. So where are we right now here on the price of BTC? Well, pretty much exactly where we were yesterday, albeit we have pushed down in the market. And I don't think that comes as any sort of surprise. So you can see here that, look, the triple bottom setup. What's interesting is this is downward sloping, as you can see here. And what we did get is the breakout the other day. And if you remember, we were talking about this, saying, look, the fact that we wicked up here and the momentum then comes to the downside is no surprise we've then come down and through here. Now, what I said yesterday, if you remember, was if we hold this line, if we can keep this line set on the 20-day EMA and this downward sloping trend line, then look, this might give us some momentum. It might allow us a little bit of a further push through the weekend without institutional buying before then seeing a little bit more of a clearer pattern playing out sort of into next week specifically. Okay, important to think about. So generally speaking, you know, you kind of have to take out the bottom bit here, which this is the horizontal line, but what you do have here, which, you know, is kind of, it's not the biggest pennant in the world, but you know, you've definitely, I mean, you could argue and say, well, I take it from here, but I actually think sometimes the candle bodies are right. So generally speaking, you do have a pennant here, which actually may end up breaking out in the long term. And I think this is where you discuss certain elements in this market and certain things that are going on. I'd much rather, I think, when the bottom range is in, prefer that. It's still kind of, you know, we're still in this kind of pennant range. You maybe argue that if you went from here, you got like this downward, you know, downward sloping trend line or the descending triangle, which does mean either way you look at it is we're going short. And that's why I took the short today. I'm just going to jump on. You can see here, this is on Weex right now. So I do have a short trade. Link in the description, by the way, if you want to come and sign up and trade with me over here. You can see I took a short trade here at around $66,000 on the money. It's currently up about 7%. It's not the biggest amount of money in the world, but it's up 7%. We're holding this trade right now. We'll see what it does. You can see there was the there was the entry there. So, and I've moved the, well, I took the stop loss off because it's not the biggest number in the world, but yeah. So when you sort of play this out, you're like, okay, well, we came up, we retested this upper range, we got rejected, and then we broke down. What's important here, if you go in on the higher time frames, is that we broke down back through the 20-day EMA as well, which for me was the signal of like, okay, this feels like a bit of a bearish move. Double down on the whole idea that, look, Trump may go into Iran, and we'll sort of touch on that in a little bit. I guess, how likely is it? Or is it just this big flex? Remember, they're meant to be meeting in Geneva on Monday to discuss the Iranian enrichment plan, of which they rejected everything, by the way, from the US in their previous meeting. So we'll touch on that in a minute, though. But, you know, specifically when we've got here on BTC, we have got a pretty interesting pattern starting to play out once again. You can see this, as you always see, this one being slightly different because it didn't kind of get down to the bottom here on that range. Back up, retest. The lower range, this you kind of discredit because, look, it's a wick down on momentum push down. Likewise, you can almost discredit this as well. Yes, we got momentum pushed to the upside, but we did get rejected as we hit lower levels of volume and reactionary levels. So, you know, this tells us we come up, we retest down to the low end. We did come back up, and then look, we're starting to print to the downside. So you either get two scenarios playing out. That either becomes the resistance, which if you then play that from the horizontal lines, this essentially becomes the triple bottom here. Look, 1, 2. You can kind of discount this. Again, this is kind of slightly out of kilter, but, you know, does this become the triple bottom, which then ends up being a pushed back to the upside, 66,700, with a potential then break. So a couple of interesting patterns starting to play out here on the higher time frames, specifically here on BTC. If you went into a little bit nearer, though, and this is kind of, you know, as we sort of top-down analysis this, you can sort of get a bit of an idea as to where we have. So if you remember, we've always talked about this. This is the M pattern, which comes from this bottom range support here that's around 63,950. So my opinion, again, this M pattern is not complete. I think this M pattern plays out, probably ends up wicking down to around 64,850. That's probably where I would be positioning that as the bottom, of the M pattern play out. If, you know, that does. Likewise, you can get an inverse head and shoulders. You can get an inverse cup and handle pattern, actually, which would be super interesting. So you can see here, look, if you went to a slightly higher time frame, probably the 4 hour, actually, you get an inverse, you know, you sort of get the inverse head and shoulders. If you do, what am I trying to look at? I'm trying to look at something. I can't find it. There we go. There we go. I found it. If you do it this way, which essentially allows you, if you're, it depends on, by the way, if you're more confident longing a market versus shorting a market, then you can flip this and have a look at it. But look at this. If you flip it around, what do you have? You have a very obvious cup and handle pattern that's probably going to break to the downside, which tells us actually then you probably have an inverse cup and handle pattern. So you could end up being at the bottom here of around 65,000 if the market's pushed down a little bit. You don't have institutional buying before breaking back potentially to the upside and maybe continuing the pattern, albeit my view would be rejection and then further down at that point. So some pretty interesting things kind of, you know, playing out here on the price of BTC. But if you look at the super time frame, so the weekly candles, which is obviously where we want to be looking at, this is kind of where you're playing the whole bear market, bull market, you know, cycle idea. Very bearish still, if you ask me. Very, very bearish still. Weekly's not looking great. And, you know, you'd argue looking at that, you can say whatever you want. That's going down, and certainly would need a different breakout. Would need some positive news, maybe maybe some sort of bullish breakout. But yeah, however you want to look at that, it is very unfavorable in my opinion right now. So, you know, we're looking to kind of see what happens. The head and shoulder pattern is, you know, pretty obvious. Again, what a head and shoulders pattern normally do. So you go whoop. There's the head, essentially the shoulder, and then jump, down we go. That is generally how head and shoulders patterns play out. And again, you can certainly start to see that. And like we said, you know, potentially shorter term, you might get inverse cup and handle, which gives us a little bit more of a push back. It might even happen over the course of the next couple of hours before heading down as well. So many patterns, but at the end of the day, we are still on a downward trend. Exactly. By the way, don't forget, If you are in the premium Discord, we do have our full breakdown of some of these key patterns. We've got some new ones being put in there this weekend. So look out for that. If you are trading these markets, definitely worth your time to read those guides, understand what's going on. We also have a full video. That's right, people. A full video coming with how you do things like Fibonacci retracements, Fibonacci extensions. It's an 11.5-minute video. That'll be in there as well. So again, giving you all that value for literally $7 a month is frigging insane. It should be about $30 a month, but it's not. It's $7 a month because we're not about it. So check out for that. It's going to be great. Look out. If you're not already in, definitely check out the link in the description. Sign up to our premium Discord server and you'll get access. Sign up to be a premium channel member on YouTube and you will get access to that Discord for free. All right, which is great. Innovative, what's going on? TikTok's doing that weird thing again where like no one turns up. Man, I am sick of streaming on TikTok sometimes. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of my time, TikTok. Anyway, I'm only kidding. I'm only kidding. All right, I'm only kidding. Woo. Right, good. Okay. What's going on, Rob? Good to see you, man. Welcome in. Appreciate you, buddy. Hit 50. Oh, hold on. Hit 90 subs now, 100 in a week, which is good for a new chat. Yeah, it's great. Man, even I'm not getting 100 new subs at the minute. That's great news, bro. Crushing it. Just keep consistent, keep grinding, mate, and it's going to be fine. You got a great narrative as well. Like, people love that kind of idea. So keep going, buddy. Keep going. Bullish on you, my friend, and what you're doing. So this is kind of where we sit with Bitcoin, all right? Doesn't matter you look at it, in my opinion, it's still pretty much bearish, all right? Still bearish, still worthwhile. Keep your eye here on a macro standpoint. Now, obviously, I want to get into why I have put the title, which says the crypto trap has been activated. And I think it kind of got activated a couple of days ago. We talked about this whole Jane Street stuff, manipulation in the market. And then randomly, the market just pumps 11%. And everyone's like, oh, we're back. The bull run's here. Like, you saw it. We looked at it on YouTube. Everyone's going, oh, bull run. But it's like, come on, bro. Really? Not quite. So, let's sort of get into a little bit. Sorry, my slippers have fallen off, and you can't stream with bad slippers. Just FYI. So, insane price action here on BTC. Pretty flat, like we said. That pennant playing out on a clear retest as well. You sort of argue this pennant playing out as we just sort of talked about. Pretty obvious. Again, assumptions, by the way, generally speaking, are that these pennants do break to the upside. Scott's notes, I sent you a message, by the way. I don't know if you got it, but these pennants historically break to the upside. If we get a flattening, so for example, if we get this coin, this kind of coming down and, we start to get this sort of play a little bit flatter, for example, this then becomes a wedge. The wedges then end up being a little bit less favorable. So if you have the flat side at the top, this can play out to be a little bit more favorable, but yeah, no, not zip up. They're just proper like granddad slippers, but I'm fine. Just buy, mate. Yeah. Use the referral code. I just click on that link. Just copy and paste that link, and you'll be fine. I think it's like NV something. Hold on a minute. It is NV2H is the 4 letters you need for the referral code. So yeah. But what I'll do, by the way, is Scott's notes. If you chill out for a little bit, I actually have a trade open on Weex right now, so I'll show you it on the screen in a little bit, and you can sort of see what's going on before you ape into anything. So look, that's where we sit on Bitcoin. Okay, I don't want to spend too much longer on that. ETH took a big old dump today. We said about this holding this range, didn't get it, broke to the downside. Likewise, XRP. Remember, we were talking about this yesterday. We said lose the 618. Watch out for the 786, $1.30. That's where I'm at. I think XRP could break down to this range quite comfortably, even though there's loads of good news and loads of bullish stuff going on. You can definitely see this sort of breaks down. Thanks, mate. I appreciate it. So watch out for that one, but we talked about it. And Sui, another one, look, coming back down for that line off the 20-day EMA. No surprise. Pushing back down. Watch out. Price target on this, 68 cents. I do think it probably wicks down lower range. 78 might be the first time I buy. But price target right now, definitely sitting at this 68. You can see volumes fading. Also, you got the RSI and the stochastic just kind of pushing down. And likewise, bouncing off the 20 EMA. It's bearish. Look at the price. Whenever we sit below the 20-day EMA, we're absolutely super bearish, even if we do get the breakout. So Sui right now is as bearish as you like. So if you're looking like me to get into a position, you just kind of go, well, I'm just going to wait because Sui's bearish and it's definitely going down. You can see there are 4 price targets. So 68 cents, 85 cents, and around 54 cents as well. XRP did hit 130 today. Did it? I mean, it might have. Well, let's see on the Weex 134 I've got on like Super Wick. I feel like it went much lower. 133-ish. I guess maybe it went like on a Super Wick at some point somewhere, but yeah, still. So again, my opinion there on XRP. Right, anything going the other way? Well, ICP, even though I give it a load of shit, is actually kind of doing okay. Which is kind of interesting. What's going on, Fairground? Hey, 2-bit matey, what's going on, buddy? Welcome in, pal. Good to see you as always. We appreciate you. Beebs in the house. Well, what's going on, Beebs? Welcome in. Like a goldfish who swims around his bowl and forgets each time around. What's that? Love it. XRP is a trade on the 4-year. Not a whole long time. Fair. Nate comes in. He's like, sell everything, bro. That we should have sold to this here. Canton got listed on Robinhood. They nice, bro. Well, I heard some stuff about World Liberty Financial. That lost a 20-day EMA. So look, and again, look at this. World Liberty Financial playing out this M pattern. So watch out. We could see World Liberty coming back down, retesting the lows here quite comfortably. If it goes its way. And we'll talk a little bit about Trump. He's just announced some crazy shit, so we'll talk about that in a minute. But yeah, World Liberty Financial might be an opportunity to stack at the bottom end of it. You got Quant holding up flat, XCN about 0.6, so nothing super crazy. Canton is holding up, even though, it's a downtrend right now. Look at that wick, though, that's come in. So let's go in a little bit nearer. Is it on an uptrend? Yeah, so look at that. Canton actually feels really good, man. We should maybe long this, actually. Does Weex have Canton on it, just out of curiosity? Maybe we long this. Canton. Bro. I have to go on Bitunix. Okay, but yeah, I mean, look at Canton holding up 20-day EMA. You could potentially trade this if you wanted. If you are looking to trade, short trade, go bearish on these. Look for, look for the momentum. Well, break below the 20-day. That's probably where you're looking at as a potential short position. So, where would you be looking at getting in the 20-day? Again, down here, looking at probably TP1 at the 50. Stop loss set. I mean, you could, depending on what your margin is, you could set stop loss here, which takes you out of the range. Only about 4.3%. Wouldn't actually be the craziest move in the world. If you weren't on big margin as well, if you were like $500, that'd be like nothing. But yeah, Canton might be a short trade to the 50. Again, we've seen it retest this. I actually think this probably bounces. And if you believe then it bounces, you're probably in this world of saying, well, look, I'm potentially just going to long Canton. Remember, going into the weekend, all right? We're going into the weekend, so don't expect anything, super crazy. Canton CEO rang the closing bell on Wall Street yesterday under the Canton strategy. Nice. I mean, people are now starting to say, hey, could Canton be a real challenge to XRP? I mean, if you haven't seen my XRP video I did earlier, highly recommend going and watching that, because my short answer to anyone that says, oh, Canton might be a real challenge to XRP, it's like you really haven't looked at what XRP is building if you truly believe that. So, yeah. Nate says, I sold, have my ADA, will buy back in this summer. Yeah, Helicopter, what's going on, buddy? Welcome in. Light number 23, I'm so bullish, I need a SpongeBob. I'm in a sponge bath. Ah, a SpongeBob. I don't even know what that means. Anyway, right. Fairground smashing the like button like an absolute legend there on TikTok. Shout out to Fairground. So, yeah. Anyway, where else do we get? Memecoins, again, throwing the opportunity up like it did the other day. Pretty much a big retracement here back on the memes. No surprise. Again, you're trading an incredibly volatile asset. My opinion, these are going lower. Again, we're below the 20-day. We got rejected on the 50. These are the pumps you should watch out for. So if you are in this game of like trading the opportunity, then yeah, look at these when they break above. So, okay. So I know everyone's waiting for, they're like, oh, 2-bit, you were wrong. You were wrong. Gold's printing. You're going to be printing new all-time highs. All right. All right. You may have won the battle, but you are not going to win the war, in my opinion. Now, look, this is the perfect example here where you get a pennant playout and it does generally break to the upside. This is generally seen as a pretty solid move. So this perfect pennant playout above the 20 is a good sign. So look, yes, maybe gold does rally up. Do we think it gets to 4.5K, 5.5K, 6K? Maybe. I'm still very debatable on where this goes. And a lot of things could happen very, very quickly. And a lot of things can change very, very quickly. For example, President Trump ordered all US federal agencies to immediately cease using Anthropic's AI technology with a 6-month phase-out period. Why? Because they won't give it to the military in the US. So Trump can just change things if he wants to. So, all of a sudden there could be, gold shortages, copper shortages, all sorts of crazy stuff right now. The biggest reason, in my opinion, by the way, that we're still seeing this gold and silver move is the whole Iran thing. And we'll touch on that in just a second. But that's my opinion, by the way. That's my opinion. Could gold rally a little bit more? Yeah, of course it could. Silver's similar. Again, breaking out. So watch out for that. What's interesting, though, just to kind of bring you guys up to speed and just to give you a bit of a view as to, kind of what's going on here. The general traditional stock market is actually, I think, weakening. So look at the S&P, for example. This has now been wicking down, really struggling to find any sort of really solid momentum and maybe even sort of breaking out. You're just not seeing it. It's very, very boring right now. And if you think about the range as an example here, just look at what you could trade the S&P within. Probably like that. It's within a range of about $150. It's pretty wild and has been now since probably early December of 2025. So the S&P is relatively boring. NASDAQ down, no surprise. We'll touch on why that is in a minute. Russell, I want to talk about, but I'll talk about it in a separate thing. But look at this. The stock market got nuked, okay? The stock market, there's no pun intended there, by the way. The stock market does not like the thought of Trump going into Iran. Simple as that. So wherever this tension is here, wherever we got this narrative that Trump is literally moving half of the entire US military into seas around Iran is pretty wild. So the stock market is very nervous. And I think what's interesting, and again, we'll touch on this a little bit later, is we got that big pump on Wednesday. Everything's back. It's all great. Crypto's going to the moon. It's all just a little bit of like hearsay, blah, blah, blah. And then within 2 days, we've dumped all the way back down again. But nothing's actually changed. It wasn't like on Wednesday, we didn't have a load of US military hardware sat near Iran. Yes, we've got a couple more aircraft carriers there and a few more airplanes and all the rest of it. But it wasn't like it wasn't there. But the whole stock market is taking a hit. Look at Oracle. We talked about this yesterday. $145 for one share of Oracle, down 3%. And what's even more interesting when you start to walk through some of the headlines, and I'm jumping around a little bit, but it is important. SoFi Bank is now announcing that they are going to start taking cryptocurrency payments, which I think is absolutely hilarious. And we'll talk about more on that later on. And also, there is... oh, man, where is it? I fucking lost it. Hold on a minute. Amazon, there we are. Amazon have now dumped $50 billion into OpenAI. What? Amazon now are having to fund OpenAI. Basically, Nvidia have gone, we think it's a little bit dodgy. Like, we're dumping all this money into it and nothing's really happening. All of a sudden, Amazon, they're like, oh yeah, no, we're fine. Let's dump $50 billion into OpenAI. Like, OpenAI could be the biggest rug pull we've seen in history. Like, it really could, by the way. They could literally end up completely screwing everything. Now, we won't really see that till probably next year, but they could definitely screw it. Casey, what's going on, my man? Good to see you, buddy. Welcome in. More on that in a separate video, by the way. But yeah, definitely could be wild. Cheese is in the house. Selmo! Trump is more worried about the midterms than he is about war with Iran. Well, I think the war with Iran will be very quickly and over very quickly. It's almost like, did you ever play Command and Conquer, or do you ever play Risk, where you basically like sit there for hours and hours and hours and hours and build up this entire army that basically then you just maraud your way through the map? Then that, I think, is exactly what happened. Trump's basically like, oh, let's come to the table, let's talk. Oh, by the way, have you seen the like 2 aircraft carriers, the 100 military airplanes that's over there, the 8,000 people that are like, did you see all that when you were coming in? They're like, Iran's obviously like, yeah, we might have done actually. So anyway, but the markets don't like it. So whenever we have this kind of like, oh, will he, won't he? Is Trump going to really bomb Iran over the weekend? Then, it's definitely going to kind of create some concern, in my opinion. But as of right now, my opinion, too bad you're tired of winning yet. I'm so tired of winning. Please, please, Mr. President. I can't take it anymore. Not my president. Yeah, so we'll keep an eye on what's going on in Iran. I've got Flight Tracker up here, but again, planes are flying over it, albeit they're not, there's not a lot going over, but there's a few, do you know what I mean? So there's a few planes going on. I'm not seeing any like crazy war planes or out weird, but like that, but we'll keep an eye on it. So yeah, so again, this is kind of where I'm sort of at the minute right now, is that these moves in the market are designed to get people to FOMO in. when people FOMO in, it's normally because something else is coming down the track. And that's what we said. I haven't seen any news on the Clarity Act, Emrod. There was, definitely conversations as to would it or won't it come out today. Now, I haven't seen anything, but you'd argue we've probably got about another 40 minutes that potentially stuff like that comes out, 5 o'clock when everything shuts down. Worth noting, just before we go into some more of these headlines, nearly $200 million of liquidations coming in here on the longs tells us to a degree where that was. Now, it's not the biggest number we've ever seen, but still, it is an important number to reference as we walk through this. So that gives you a little bit of a market update. Let's get into a little bit more of the news. FYI is 21.21 right now here in the UK. This Nostradamus. Allegedly, if you can see the 21.21s or you generally see times that match, that means you're incredibly intelligent, and apparently it means you're going to win in the next bull run. I don't make the rules up. That's what I heard in the grapevine. So the more often you see the time repeating itself, i.e. you see like 1313 or you see 1111, these are generally signs that you are going to be incredibly successful in the bull market and that you should definitely subscribe to this channel, okay? Again, I don't make the rules up. They're just what I said. Okay, let's get into a bit of this then. Let's get into a bit of what's going on. So obviously, the story of the day is this, the Iran buildup and what is actually out there, which is kind of crazy, but let's just walk through some of these facts. And then you can ask yourself the question, is Trump really going to not bomb Iran? But 700 aircraft are right now surrounding Iran, 100 fifth generation stealth fighters, 100 refueling tankers, 20 AWACS. I used to know what AWACS stands for. Airborne Warning and Control System, is it? It's them ones with the big dish on top. AWACS meaning. What was it? AWACS stands for Airborne Warning and Control System. There you see, I knew it. Man, I used to be a proper plane geek. Anyway, so 18 electronic warfare jets, 2 carrier strike groups. The tankers moved from Qatar to Tel Aviv. I mean, it's there, isn't it? It is literally there, which is kind of crazy. Can I please get my sub $1 XRP bio to fill? Please. I mean, I'm short on the market right now. So, I'll take a one because that means Bitcoin probably drops to 50K. I'm down for it. I'm down for it. I'm 100% down for it. All right. So there's assumptions, Trump is officially locked and loaded over there in Iran, and we're definitely potentially going to see it. What's crazy, by the way, is when you look at some of these strike groups, and actually the carriers, people are like, yep, the carrier group's there, but look at what else you get there. It's insane. USS Winston Churchill, USS Bainbridge, USS Mahan, along with all of these other crazy, submarines and all sorts of stuff. I mean, it's wild, isn't it? It's kind of crazy when you think about it. Yeah, I saw that. Well, I didn't see actually. I heard that Polkadot's gone absolutely wild, which is crazy. What's going on, Mouse? Good to see you, buddy. So anyway, watch out for this. Now, interesting enough, Google Cloud and MoneyGram signed on to launch midnight nodes for new privacy network banks. It's pretty interesting, isn't it? Now, I'm not going to go too deep into this. I just wanted to bring this up. Get into a Bitcoin long now. No way, bro. No way. You have to tell me your rationale for wanting to go long on Bitcoin right now. I am short, and it's kind of playing out all right. I should have probably come out of it a bit ago. I did come out of the bigger trade. I'm still just in a short trade. It's only like $600 margin trade, so it's not crazy numbers, but it's still. Where are we at now? 21. So it's still about 4.7%. We'll see where it goes. I'm not too asked about this trade. We'll see, but. Trust you can't. That's not a real one. You can't say trust me, bro. Trust me, bro. What if I went $1 million long on the market? What if I did that? And I'm like, all right, hey, boom, put $1 million trade on, lost it. You wouldn't be like, bro. Come on, you can't just say trust me, bro. That's not an investing strategy. Anyway. Okay, I will check your Twitter page. If that's what you're telling me to do, this is where I'm gonna get it, right? Is that you? This you? That doesn't look like you actually. What is it? Dallas IKE. All one word. Yeah, you're not coming up. You're not coming up, broski. So I don't know which one you are. Is that you? The main character. Oh, this might be you, actually. Is this you? Is your thing says the main character investment management? Is that you? Oh, that might be you. Okay, so anyway, this is interesting, isn't it? Obviously, we talked about Midnight, but what's interesting here is the fact you've got Google Cloud and MoneyGram, and they're going to be starting privacy networks on banks, okay? Pretty interesting, right? Pretty interesting, if you ask me. Good afternoon out in California. You guys are getting surprised by this. The company I work for is now owned by Tether. So they're going to use our network to send money via crypto testing. Wow, Serge. Hey, Serge. Bullish. You got to get the inside intel. Man, bear pig is half men, half bear, and half pig. What the heck are you talking about? Right, what am I looking for? Bitcoin bottom candle update. No, that's from March 2023. You were short on the market the other day on BitGet. Congrats. Where am I looking? There's nothing here on your... I'm back in April 2025. There's nothing there, bro. All right, okay, fine. I'll keep an eye out for it. So yeah, look out for this. Like I said, Amazon are now chucking $50 billion into OpenAI. OpenAI have gone that low. They've sunk that far. They've exhausted everyone's money. They're literally now going after Amazon. Amazon are like, oh yeah, we'll put some money in. Look at this. OpenAI said it's raising $110 billion in a funding round, valuing the company at about $840 billion. I don't think they're getting anywhere near this, by the way. I really don't. In fact, can we see this? Oh no, is that okay. All right, yeah, that just brings that up. I thought we might be able to see their actual, like, how much money they've raised, but 110 billion, like, OpenAI is going down, all right? I mean, not tomorrow, but it's definitely a concern, I think. They are running out of money and running out of money fast. So, yeah, that, in my opinion, is what bursts the AI bubble. So, you know, keep your eye on it for sure. Could be pretty spicy. Okay, so we talked about Iran. We don't need to do that. Let's get into the trap. Let's get into why I think... I mean, I'm definitely interested to see what Delisike says, if he's going to tell us there's something different. But yeah, here is kind of where people are getting the Bitcoin correction progress. 2026 looks a lot like 2022. You have the top followed by the bear trap after a short drop, followed by the retest, and then you get the bottom. And well, arguably that's kind of where we are right now. You can see exactly how this played out in 2022 and a very, very similar pattern that came in. It's a traditional bear market cycle that comes in. Hello, how can I invest? I have $80,000. Well, I mean, I would research as much as you could. That would be my view. But I would be sensible. And you are going to be given an opportunity that I think you didn't have back in October last year. So, yeah, I'm never going to tell you what to invest. I would recommend our free Discord channel, by the way, link in the bio. Also, if you are looking to buy cryptocurrency, you can sign up some pretty cool exchanges. Weex, we've got a great offer with them. I bet Bitunix, so check them both out. Okay, so the market never falls straight down and fakes reversals, hunt stops, retest zones. Then the bottom is in. There normally has to be some catalyst, some bottom signal, which is like, crypto's going to zero. We're never going to invest in it. It's all nonsense, blah, 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 blah. But actually, when you just look at how weak the market is, you can get a 20% move and within a week, you're back down again. Like, this market is super, super weak. We looked at it the other day and we looked at short-term holders selling significantly. That should tell you everything. Short-term holders can't hold their bag to save their lives right now. They really can't. So, the Elliott wave pattern high time frame is huge liquidity sweep and the bigger 2 to 3 demand zone. Okay, let me have a look at this. Oh, you posted on a phone, bro. Come on, bro. What? Okay, so by the way, I'm not a TA guru, by the way, so I'm not at all kind of discrediting this, because I don't think I have. So what have you got? Lux Algo smart money concepts with Elliott waves zigzag pattern. So you are saying the smart money concept is what's driving your view on liquidity zones, correct? And therefore that's how you come to the assumption that actually there's a relatively large pocket of liquidities on that. I've got to be honest, I don't really understand the Elliott wave model. I've sort of tried to study it a little bit, but you're not showing on here. You're showing patterns. So you are essentially saying that there is a strong level of liquidity that's there, which is going to say what? They're going to hunt that liquidity zone and go after that liquidity area. Oh, man, I picked the wrong person. And that is also not you. Bro, there you go. There you go. All right, cool. QL. Oh, yeah, there you go. Okay, cool. Yeah. All right. So I see that. Yeah. So, so you're saying that there's some pretty tasty liquidity pockets that are going to drive you further to the upside. So your target right now is what? 83,000 from this move right now. So your view is long from this point, high to 83,000. So are you saying the bottom's in then? You're like, we're not going any lower. Wow. I like difference in opinions though. I like difference in opinions. Hey, I'm going to save that and see where we get to. In fact, let me just, there you go. Look, I'll drop you a follow. I'll keep an eye on it. Let's keep an eye on it. It'll be fun. Okay. Anyone had wife changing wealth yet? Not yet. Not yet. I sit on the other side, by the way. I think we are going down again. That's just my opinion. Based on geopolitical events, based on actual liquidity that's in the market, federally injected, Bank of Japan, whatever you want to talk about. I don't think there is any new liquidity coming into this market, which means it's an old cycle of retail money. And that's why I think we're going down a little bit further. But hey, man, I can't get comfortable tonight. I don't know what it is. Okay, so anyway, this could be a reason why we need to keep an eye out for. Again, another argument to say we go down. Now, a couple of interesting things to back up that view. All Bitcoins are no longer being moved or sold. So remember, we went through that phase of like complete capitulations where all these OG wallets were like, oh, I'm just going to exit all my Bitcoin. I'm just going to sell everything. According to the CoinDays destroyed, the levels are very low. Even when adding a 90-day moving average, it becomes clear that interest from oldest market participants has dropped drastically. They don't care anymore. They don't care. They're happy. They sold some profits. They're now going to wait and see the next move. So basically, yeah, they're not selling at all. You can see the big spikes we got back end of October into sort of early parts of 2026 as we saw some big capitulations, which then coincides pretty much perfectly with a big drawdown in the price on the market. So worth noting here. And then again, you can see there, look, that you've got coins, days destroyed. Actually, it's a pretty low right now. So, you know, nothing super crazy going on here. Nothing that we don't already know, in my opinion, that actually we believe that, you know, look, these old G wallets are just holding their coins now for a, you know, further move. Now, this was one that I think is an interesting one, given obviously we saw that massive capitulation over at Nvidia, but Nvidia dropped around 5.5% and the Nasdaq is down about 1.3%, with the Russell 2000 flipping green and surging over 0.5%. Is this a signal that early signs are that we are seeing a rotation from mega cap AI giants into undervalued small and mid cap stocks? That could be a thing, by the way, and we've touched on this a number of times, in that actually, is the AI bubble going to burst, or is in fact we're going to start to see a slight rotation where people look to go somewhere else? And if you think about what we've just been talking about, then this could be the biggest catalyst. Sam Altman said OpenAI is working on a Pentagon AI deal amid an ongoing standoff between Anthropic and the Defense Department. Of course he is. He's desperate for money. It's desperate for money. So he's going to take any sort of deal. Like, bro, gotta be careful. Like, gotta be careful, okay? What I like is Anthropic have gone, nah, bro, you're not having any of our stuff. Sam Altman's like, oh, you could have Grok, you could not Grok, you could have ChatGPT 5.2. It's great. Just don't ask it to spell Anthropic or Anapolina or any kind of weird word like that. But anyway, interesting. Okay. Interesting indeed, if you ask me. So worth noting, by the way, again, the other signal that maybe we're going to start to see this kind of hype train build, which ends up wrecking a lot of people. Now, worth noting as well, the number of addresses holding at least 100 Bitcoin is now nearly 20,000 addresses. It's pretty wild. At least 100 Bitcoin. Think about that. So they're not the real short-term holders that we've been selling. These are your, you know, institutions, big whales, companies, all of which are now buying Bitcoin. I mean, look at this. Jack Dorsey, for example, announcing only 2 days ago that he was laying off nearly 6,000 members of his entire company, and then he went and bought 110 Bitcoin. All right, that's how you do it. That's how you do it. Lay your staff off, buy Bitcoin. Pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. And look, a couple of other bits dead quick. The most popular cycle bottom indicator that's been used is the weekly RSI. Basically, being oversold, and other times this has happened, were the cycle bottoms. So you can see here back in June of 2022, back in 2018, back in 2015, and back again in 2011. This essentially means that most RSI timeframes show that Bitcoin failed to reach cycle top levels, and did many other indicators. Take 22-day RSI, for example, which has a hyper-acute channel for cycle tops and bottoms. No cycle top trigger last cycle, about 10 points off at its highest. Essentially, as always, though, be careful of the always metrics. Prior accuracy does not imply future accuracy, and a lot of time initial is required. But This is why you can argue that maybe we are very close to the bottom. There's a lot of signals right now that are saying, look, we're getting close. I don't think we're there. And as much as, you know, if you were to say to me, well, 2-bit, what makes you think you're not there? It's simply put, it's not been long enough. You know, it's not long enough. We've been there 140 days. That's basically from cycle top to where we currently sit right now. And if you argue that, generally speaking, it's between 365 and 400, then we've got a little bit more to go. That's the reality. 400, by the way, would take us to early part of October. If you said, well, look, it's going to be, you know, 365 days, then, you know, obviously we're sort of rocking and rolling around the very early part of October, which I guess that bit could be changed. But yeah, doesn't mean that we're not, you know, certainly signaling that, look, we may be heading down there. And specifically, if you think about RSI, where that is, indicator of oversold or overbought. All right. Pretty interesting if you ask me. Okay. Okay, good. Continuing on. Look at this. Again, another reason why I think you are seeing this whole like fake out narrative. We see whales and big exchanges consistently buying more Bitcoin. In fact, with the exception of December the 23rd, 2025, they have basically bought every single day without fail. All right. That's pretty wild if you think about it. So those big wallets, those big exchanges, those big corporations, hedge funds, treasury funds, whatever, they are literally stacking Bitcoin like you wouldn't believe. No surprise. All right. No surprise if you ask me, and that continues to go. You can also see where this looks, and this is actually a super interesting chart. I need to move my face, so 1 second. TikTok, do you want to see this chart? It's pretty interesting. So this chart here that you can see on the screen is the realized profit breakdown by year. Because I think a lot of people, myself included, by the way, until I started to get into some of this stuff, basically believe that the 2025 bull market was a bit of a shit bull run. That actually didn't deliver on so many things. Everyone went into it saying, hey, I've got $5,000 and I'm walking away with $5 million. If this is it, it's the craziest bull market in the history of mankind and I can't believe I'm here and I'm alive and I'm making it happen. Yeah, actually it was pretty good, all right? As crazy as that sounds and as much as people would say you are literally off your head 2-bit, it was actually one of the third most profitable bull runs we've had. In fact, one of the third most profitable time periods we've had, specifically from a profit perspective. So what you can see here is this breaks down into all the different bull runs. And you could argue and say, well, obviously in the very early stages. So for example, when you look at the really light blue line down here at the bottom, well, this indicates the 2012-2013 bull market cycle, which clearly no one gave two flying Fs about cryptocurrency. Where we're looking now, more importantly, is the light pink, as you can see here, look. So pretty crazy that we actually saw some significant profits made out over the last bull run, which means that, well, the next bull run should, in theory, if continuing cycles happen, be bigger than the previous, which means that we should get another new all-time high on BTC. We should get bigger price on Ethereum. So this kind of, the reason I'm sort of showing you this is, if you are still in Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, some of these big cap coins, then this should give you some confidence that says, look, history has always said that it generally prints new all-time highs, new value, new profits within the market. Remember, you know, it's not always going to be the same, but it is worth noting here. And this kind of aligns to exactly what that point is. So you definitely could see this sort of further push up. And that's why there's no surprise, albeit we haven't had the data come through yet. We are seeing, again, some consistent purchasing here on the ETF market. Again, think about this, $1 billion in the last 4 days. $1 billion is what those ETF products have been buying. So pretty interesting. US giant SoFi makes new bullish announcement about Solana. They are now going to be depositing into the bank via blockchain. Think about this, people. Think about it. All right. This is how things work in bear markets. Remember, everyone was starting to get bullish on Solana and we were buying at $8 and then it would dump and it would pump and everyone's like, oh my God, Solana's the best thing in the world. These are the things you need to pay attention to. Or simply just make sure you turn up to this live channel, watch my content, and I'll keep you posted on this sort of stuff. If you want to get a bit more access, by the way, do feel free to jump into our totally free Discord, link in the description, and also my bio. Definitely worth checking out. Definitely worth checking out. Is BTC Hyper really up 7599? I do not know. I will have a look at it in a minute, though. We'll have a look at it for sure. But yeah, this is crazy, by the way. But look at this. The bank announced that 13.7 million of its customers can now deposit Solana tokens directly through its banking applications. Like, what? Don't know why I sounded a bit like a chicken there, but hey, SoFi Bank making it happen. All right, making it happen. Pretty wild, if you ask me. Pretty wild. So, hey, great news. Institutional buying. All right, we know Trump's basically saying that you're not allowed to use Anthropic's deals, which is kind of interesting. Someone else is happening right now. Citi and Morgan Stanley expect Bitcoin and crypto custody, trading and tokenization efforts. So we sort of touched on this a little bit yesterday, but Citi integrates Bitcoin into bank-grade custody and report frameworks. Morgan Stanley moves to bring crypto trading, lending exploration, and tokenized products to mainstream wealth clients. Of course they do. They're basically saying, hey, bro, did you see the 2025 bull market cycle on Bitcoin? Did you buy any? No, I didn't. Well, let me fucking tell you. We're gonna be full send in 2028. All right. So time to get in. Finger licking good, 2-bit. Well, I think so, bro. I think so. So what's the narrative here? That we're gonna see some volatility, that we're gonna see price push up, retail's gonna dive in, and then it's gonna get dumped on. But the macro here is that big money is buying Bitcoin right now. They're buying cryptocurrencies. They're buying Ethereum like lunatics. So, you know, as the old saying goes, when the market is fearful, you should be greedy. And I think that is never a truer said. Like I said, you know, at the minute, we still hold some spot bags. We did buy some the other day. And again, if Bitcoin pushes down a little bit more, I mean, depends if, you know, if we go down a little bit further, if Ike gets us, Dallas Ike tells us we're going down. But, you know, for me right now, this is just a great opportunity that, you know, we're going to DCA into this. We need to break that downward sloping trend line on a weekly for a reversal. And as crazy as it sounds, remember, you need a green candle next to a red candle. Otherwise, that ain't a reversal. So as much as people will say, oh, well, we're going to the moon 2-bit. We ain't doing now until there's a green candle next to a red candle. So important thing. Curse, you realize that no asset has reached $2 trillion market cap and has ever gone to zero. There you go. What are you talking about going to zero? Just buy and hold BTC, XRP, and Flare. See, Mouse knows what's up. Zebek, if they partner with XRP, they will connect Canton. I mean, that's true. I mean, Canton look like they're starting to really wind some stuff up. So, yeah, interesting. I was just going to quickly look through the top 100 rich lists for Bitcoin to see if we can see any new wallet accumulations. But again, look at this. 1,407. Mr. 100 bought more Bitcoin, which people think is Kevin O'Leary, by the way. I don't know if it is. But Binance bought 18,000 Bitcoin in the last 30 days. You also had 14,000 Bitcoin purchased in the last 30 days for this wallet. See, this is what I don't understand. Like, why can't they just get it wrong and all of a sudden it lands in my Bitcoin wallet? That'd be great. 20 BTC here, 381 of the last. So, again, even the big money, with the exception of a few wallets, negative 300 in the last 7 days, you generally have buy pressure coming in. Pretty interesting. All right. Pretty interesting if you ask me. Okay, so BTC right now holding up 65,619. Let me bring the daily price chart here up. And yeah, don't forget, if you do want to trade with me over on Weex, it is simple. Check out the link in the description. It is dead easy to sign up as well. And you can be trading very quickly. They've got some amazing offers, some sign-up bonuses, and much, much more. And again, it's got everything you need. I'm pretty sure it's like cool from a KYC perspective, from a VPN and all that kind of stuff. So I've had no problems whatsoever. It's got all your favorite indicators, everything you're going to need. It's basically got TradingView integration into it as well, which is kind of pretty cool. So yeah, if you're interested, check it out. We got some amazing offers, 50% rebates on your deposit $100, you get $50 back. Check it out, okay? Weeks, definitely worth it. So this trade I opened earlier on, yeah, this short trade, like I said, I did have one on Bitunix. But I did close that trade down only because I mean, I probably shouldn't have done in the end. It did actually go on a little bit further, but yeah, I did close it down, which turned out to be an alright trade in fairness. So, Sol is the reference to XRP. Just okay, you guys are still talking about something. So yeah, where is it? Trade history, I think it was. Yeah, there it is. So how can I bring this one up? What? Anyway, so yeah, like $200. So again, nothing super crazy, but you know, my entry price was good, and you know, only a 4x short leverage. So yeah, got into that one. It was like like $200. So you can sort of see it here on the. You can sort of see it here a little bit. So this was the entry up here. And then you can see that was the closeout down here as well. So pretty good. Like I said, $200 there. Look. Bullish. I mean, I've been getting wrecked on quite a few of them. I mean, I lost like, you know, 182, 300, 100 the other day. But, you know, we had a couple of good winners. You know, a couple of 72s and all the rest of it. And then, yeah. So yeah, check it out. Link in the description. Bitunix and Weex. I mean, I am tempted to put a little long on this, but I think if I was going to go long, I'd need to close this market down. The only thing I would say is that on an evening, we've definitely seen the markets push higher post US futures opens. Now, whether that happens tonight, given the fact that they won't be opening, because obviously it's going into the weekend, may actually give us the downside momentum that we want on that. So we'll leave that trade open and see what happens. See what happens. Caroline likes a nice fillet. Oh, dear me. Wild. Wild. Okay, right. Don't forget, by the way, if you haven't already hit the like button, do hit the like button. We'd appreciate you. Over 100 people in the stream right now. Shout out to all the TikTok fam as well, holding it down. So, yeah, we appreciate you guys tuning in. We got about 15, 20 minutes left on the stream. Again, don't forget, I won't be streaming tomorrow night, so I don't stream on Saturdays. But, yeah, feel free. You got anything on your mind, any questions, any thoughts, any opinions, any views, any coins, whatever you want to look at, it is over to you guys for a little bit of a Q&A. All right? I mean, you might not have anything. You might just be like, God, 2-bit. I'm just macro super bullish on everything you said, which is fine. Which is fine. And we'll keep an eye on everything. I'm not seeing anything to do with Iran yet. Nothing, nothing bad news. Breaking news, everybody. In fact, 2 lots of breaking news. Holy crap, look at this. Where's Tomato Pete? $2 trillion Morgan Stanley files for the US bank charter to custody crypto assets. It's happening. It's happening. ETH gas is mooning. Is it really? That's wild if it is. Man, Morgan Stanley. Another one coming in. That's Citibank, Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan, SoFi Bank. They're all buying Bitcoin. And you still think this wasn't engineered? They did it on purpose. They dumped October 10th. They cut the bull market short so they could all get in. And the next bull market's going to be one of the craziest bull markets in the history of mankind. What is underneath my foot right now? This is really annoying me, actually. Bro, it's a camera stand. That is annoying. There we go. There we go. Man, I need a new desk, a new setup. It is literally the most annoying thing in the world in this room. Okay, Clarity Act news. No, nothing. No Clarity Act. So yeah, $2 trillion Morgan Stanley. But think about this though. This is the bit we need to think about. Why is so many? I didn't realize I'm not on the screen. Why is so many of the banks all now starting to position themselves for custody in crypto? Like, why would they be doing that? Think about it. ETH gas fees. I mean, you could say they're skyrocketing. They don't look like they're skyrocketing, to be honest. 11 cents for a transaction for an NFT. A swap is 7. I mean, they don't look like they're skyrocketing, in fairness. It just passed, did it? I mean, it's not breaking news if it did. World Liberty Financial launched real-time proof of reserves for its USD1 stablecoin, showing about 4.7 billion in reserves backing the supply. Interesting. What is it telling us it's backed by? Total reserve backing USD's proof of reserves. What is it backed by, though? Interesting. I mean, Mouse, I reckon that's probably true as well. That's probably true. Look at that. Control Alt will support Ripple for tokenizing $280 million in certified diamonds with the built-in diamond on the XRP ledger. Wow, bro. Florida advances its bill to establish a strategic cryptocurrency reserve fund. Is Florida, am I right in saying Florida has 0% taxes and actually is like doing really, really well from a economy? Oh no, the token ETH gas. Oh, okay, sorry. Sorry, I thought you meant literally just the the actual like cost of transacting ETH. It's called ETH gas, yeah. Oh, he doesn't like it too much. You'd have to send me the contract address to have a look at it. Yeah. Wow, Morgan Stanley applying for that national Trump. I heard they did this before. Nothing happened. I mean, nothing's gonna happen yet in terms of like Does it make the biggest bit of difference in the world at the moment? No, but this is exactly what happens in bear markets. Exactly what happens on it. Let's think about 2024, 2023. What did we get? What were some of the advancements that we had? Well, you had celebrities, as much as they were bad, by the way, and I'm not saying that they weren't, but you had celebrities launching Memecoins, so you had the celebrity adoption. You had the Trump effect. You know, Trump's going, hey, I'm going to be pro crypto. We're going to release not Roger Ver. What's he called? Who's the guy who got released from prison? Come on, who can tell me before I can get it myself? He was called Ross Ulbricht. Yes. Yes. I'll beat you guys. Oh, nice. Good job. CZ. Oh, dear. Right. Oh, there it is. Oh, it's called Gwei. It's not called ETH gas. It's called Gwei, bro. Oh, is this just like actual ETH gas or is it like a new coin? Oh, it's a new coin. Okay, 18%. The contract looks terrible. Are you sure this is like an actual like proper contract or is this some sort of weird Vitalik DeFi scammerino? I mean, I don't know if it is or not. What's it saying it's not? It's bad on. Contract. Oh, the contract's not verified. Okay, fine. Fine. I don't know anything about it. ETH gas. Real-time Ethereum gasless future. Unlock the gasless future, collect beans. What is this? This looks wild, by the way, bro. Barrett Brown. Who the hell is Barrett Brown? This looks wild, though. I mean, I have to take a look at this, but community has got nearly 1 million users. I'm sure that's not like just the Ethereum chain, though. Sounds a bit weird. Sounds a bit weird if you ask me, but hey, fair play. I mean, look, it's kind of giving some moves right now. Again, I don't know what it is or what it's about, but it is definitely moving and grooving a little bit. Definitely moving and grooving a little bit. So yeah, so think about what we let's because these are the sort of things you got to keep your eyes peeled on. Good things will happen when crypto. I am seeing alts get stronger than it. I mean, that's true. I mean, look, the reality is if you've sort of stomached the bear market, even if we went to $30,000, it's only a 50% retracement. Like, I know that sounds crazy, but it's just not the worst thing in the world, in my personal opinion. And I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. Like, you know, I'm comfortable with our portfolio is. We've got stablecoin stacked. Like, I'm ready for it. You know, a similar story to where we were in 2024, 2023, and 2022. The difference is I had to grind to accumulate. And you guys will know, and I was saying, look, for me, it's just about how much you can get. Forget price. Just try and accumulate as much as you can. But yeah, I mean, that's where I think we definitely get a difference in the next bull market cycle. So yeah, so think of this, right? So 2024, right? What were some of the things that we got that we weren't expecting? Spot Bitcoin ETFs, okay? So you had Gary Gensler, who apparently allegedly has said sorry to the Ripple founder, but I don't know how true that is. But so you had spot Bitcoin ETFs, you had spot Ethereum ETFs, you had the Bitcoin halving that came in. European introduced the full crypto law with MiCA. That was kind of interesting as well. US began creating crypto regulations. Obviously, you had huge institutional adoption, explosion of the layer 2 infrastructure. So these were all the things, and you sort of had this idea of RWA and Wall Street kind of giving a bit of a vibe as to what's coming in. So that was kind of what set us up. What have you got right now? Banks are buying crypto. They're custodying crypto. They're actively telling their customers that, hey, we'll custody your crypto for you. It's fine. ETF exposure, you know, hedge fund exposure, all this kind of crazy stuff coming in right now probably tells us that the next bull run's going to be pretty freaking wild. If you ask me, we just got to get there. But I think it will come sooner. Well, I think the big bit, the move and groove at the end will probably come a little bit later on, but certainly we'll start to see some positive moves in the market. So yeah. Hello everyone, you're back on YouTube. I might have some ETH gas. We just looked at that. That's weird. The biggest thing over 23 and 24 was all the ETF news. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Oh, Craig, why can't people... Okay. The person that's just tried to verify in the Discord, are you in the live stream? Are you actually in the live stream? Dresdell, is it? Because I just don't understand why people can't verify themselves on our Discord. Like, it's so not difficult, in my opinion. It's so not difficult. Gary G is a chopper. I mean, he is, in fairness. But yeah, maybe I need to put like a video like, oh, hey, welcome to the 2-Bit Crypto Discord channel. This is how fucking simple it is to verify yourselves, unless you're a bot, and then it's pretty difficult. You know my point. Vitalik Wallet has gone from over 600k ETH to about, yeah, he's sold like in 20 million or something, hasn't he? In chat, 95 here, smash the like, it's free. What a guy, Paul. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys. Yeah, I mean, like I said, these people are trying to put them in, but I can already feel like they're literally, it must just be like some sort of weird scammer thing, maybe. Thanks, Paul, you're a massive legend. I kind of feel like maybe I should get into the Facebook thing, but I haven't really started. I haven't really kind of messed around with it, but yeah. I haven't really messed around with it for a while, actually. But yeah, I think these are, I actually just think they are actually scammers. Or it's like, you know, like a bot that's trying to get in because it's come in. I'm just going to kick him out. See ya, yeet. That's how we do things. Come into my Discord and try and just pull a lot of nonsense out there. Not great. Not great. Okay, BTC pushing down right now. So kind of going to be nice in the trade. Again, the Weex trade. Join me over there. 65.416. Yeah, nice little wick down here. Giving us a little bit more of a gain. So, we'll take that. We'll take that. Up to about nearly 9% right now on this trade. So beautiful. Beautiful trade. $39,000 in the profit. I wish. River Runner, what's going on? Welcome in. I hope your missus isn't watching the chat. 37. What's 37 doing? My missus is older. She just got her bus pass. I'm officially oh, bro. In fairness, my missus is older than me, but only by about a month. So it's fine. It's fine. Lee says we will end up pumping. I mean, maybe, Lee. Maybe. Gotta watch out, though. That's why the title of this live stream is The Crypto Trap is Activated. Volatility is what's going to get people. Stand by a conviction. My conviction right now is that we're going down. And I think we go down to exactly the layers that we've been talking about, which is why I've not changed them. We've not moved them. And even this structure now tells me that we're still bearish. We're still bearish. And this is still going down. If you were going to get any sort of reversal on this and shorten this potential decline, then for me, that's when you sort of get into this world where we would have reversed around now 65.5k. It doesn't look like we're going to get a reversal, in my opinion. The whole chat is, yeah, the whole chat's gone wild right now. XXI says, Troy, agree, yeah. Yeah, 37 and 2 bit of Toy Boys. I mean, technically, that's true. Technically, that's true. Look, hey, there's one thing I would say about this community is, look, I think everyone should be entitled to their opinion. I think everyone should have their opinion. And I agree that sometimes people's opposite opinions isn't always great to take. As long as people are respectful and as long as people, at the end of the day, do what they want to do, then I'm cool with it. Hey, Rusty, thanks for the heart me, my man. Appreciate it. I think Discord's good. Like, as in discourse. Sorry, not Discord. Discourse is good. I want people with ulterior views. I think it's important. It keeps us grounded. It makes us work harder. And it makes, in my opinion, us line up to way more, you know, narratives that we need to be dialed into. Otherwise, you end up in these kind of jerk circles. It's like, oh, we're all going to the moon. And then everyone's like, how did I lose all my money? You're like, well, what a surprise. You joined the $500 a month Patreon group for a massive chopper and they just basically sold you down the river. So, yeah, important. Check out Author Wings. Author Wings in the Discord. What is that? What is Author Wings? I feel like you've tried to say something with a short tongue, Craig. 37. Get out of here. Get out of here. But yeah, Casey, thanks for the slow motion. Rusty, I appreciate it, that man. Thank you so much. If you haven't already hit the like button, by the way, definitely consider something like hitting the like button. Also, if you haven't hit the follow button on TikTok as well, would appreciate it. A few likes here, a few likes there. Tap it everywhere, baby. That's what we're doing. We're trying to keep you plugged into this market. We're trying to just be a bit different out there. So many channels just bang on about TA for 2 hours. We try and go into the TA. We try and go into the macro. We try and break down politics. Bro, is there anything we don't do right now? Feedback. Let's see what next week holds. Well, I mean, we've got a big event on Monday, which will be the release of the latest PMI data, which I think could suggest, you know, as long as it's above 50, that will be seen as a positive news. PPI today was bad, all right? Was bad. Need to understand it. But Monday, ISM manufacturing PMI, previous 52.6, expansion, expectations and consensus is, the consensus is 52.3. All right, nothing burger. The forecast is 51. That would show that it's still in growth, but not as much. The problem you have though is you double down now on bigger jobless claims and the producer price index also missing. Interesting. You're going to get ISM services on Wednesday, and then into Friday we get non-farm payrolls, employment rate, and the retail sales month-over-month. So yeah, interesting. What'll be worth noting just real quick is if we were to get anything changing on this. So, you know, right now, this is where you've got the yellow line is, maybe we need to change this actually. Hold on a minute. Let me change this not for a yellow line. What does our line need to be? That sort of blue, dash it up. Beautiful. Look at that. Well, actually blue's a bit generic. We're using blue quite a lot. Orange. Let's use orange. So again, you can see here that we got a little bit of a tick up on liquidity, but not a lot. If we were to take a look at, let's take a look at the repo debt. You've got a little bit, again, coming down though, which is kind of generally speaking a good news story. Your repo debt, you want to come down. This is the one that everyone cares about. What's the Bank of Japan doing? So you can see the volatility that's coming in the Bank of Japan. Interestingly enough, Bank of Japan is almost a lead indicator into price movement. So again, you can sort of see where we've got significant pumps in the market. We then do get a little bit of a reaction out of BTC. Dumps in the market, we get a similar story here on those. So, you know, Bank of Japan may be one that I think a lot of people need to keep an eye out for. Obviously, USA money supply is up and looks like it's continuing to rally. It has flattened out, and actually there was just a post put out saying, you know, look, M2 is kind of doing some pretty big things, but nothing super crazy. So, where is it? Oh, it was there. Yeah, big US money supplies reached a new all-time high of $22.45 trillion. So yeah, pretty big here. Is it going to keep going up? That is the big question in everyone's mind. So worth thinking about. Euro money zone, again, not really doing too much. That's pretty flat as well. And smaller M2 economy. So these are all anywhere else. Actually, it's moving to the upside. So yeah, a lot of interesting stuff going on, specifically with the liquidity. Japan, definitely one to keep your eye out for. On the Federal Reserve, also another one to very much keep close to. So yeah, pretty interesting all in all. Like I said, does it affect anything? Probably not. Two bits. Is the ISM an important report for the markets? Yes and no. Yes and no. The reason why the reason why people look at it, I'll bring it up here, is because you are essentially looking for expansion in a sector that people generally associate with growth. So manufacturing. That's why, you know, if you look at like the UK GDP has been so terrible because we outsourced loads of manufacturing. It is also essentially an idea of costs. So if you think about manufacturing, there's a question for everybody here. What is the biggest cost to a manufacturer? What is their biggest cost? I feel like I've asked this question before. What's the biggest cost to a manufacturer? And then I'll go into some a couple of these other questions that are coming in. Electricity, you see, Fairground's got it. Yeah, so power, the biggest cost. That's why Trump's kind of saying to some of these big data centers, like, go and build some power centers. So essentially then what you do get is the view is as you've got expansion in manufacturing means you're bringing costs down, specifically energy costs, which generally then support lower costs, which means that markets generally move. The other thing to know, I don't know if I can bring this up as an indicator on here, actually. ISM. PMI. So, kind of. I mean, it's not the greatest of... it's not the greatest at all, actually. But, yeah, I mean, generally speaking, that you sort of get a kind of move. So you would assume that if the ISM continues to move, then we should get a nice push back to the upside on BTC. This generally ends up being a slightly delayed indicator. So you can see like the pump here, always slightly delayed against it. So, you know, the ISM skyrocketing kind of would give you the concept that maybe there's going to be a bit more upside to come. But yeah, that's the bigger bit, in my opinion. Smash the like button. 37. Thank you for the 5. Appreciate it, my man. Thank you so much. I feel like I've found out more about you tonight than I ever want to know ever again. Canton Network became the first domestic crypto coin to be listed in Japan on March 25th. Yeah, nice. I like it. I like it. Shane says, or Sean, sorry, if you only had $5,000, should I invest in Bitcoin or the company in MSTR? It's an interesting one. The question isn't necessarily where, it's what is your risk tolerance. So, is MSTR going to be less volatile than Bitcoin? Yes, but not by much. MSTR is probably not a great shout, in fairness. If I was to give you a couple of stocks that I am thinking that would be good, would be something like Coinbase. It would be probably okay. Oracle, albeit I think it probably goes a little bit lower, to be honest. Nvidia is probably, again, top end, but the important bit would be how you invest that $5,000 as well. Don't just dump it all in. But, you know, I mean, I would certainly have some exposure to the actual native crypto. If I was going to go into stocks, I'd go into stocks as well. Tim says, sing happy birthday to 37 Upper. Is it really 37? Is it really your birthday? Have I missed that? If I've missed that, I'm really sorry. I've missed that. Yeah, DCA is the way. Yeah, see, Tim knows what it is. DCA into BTC or XRP or whatever you believe in. Yeah, you see? See, that is the way to do it. Bam. Way to do it. It is. Oh my gosh. It is. It is. Okay, everyone then. All right, you've got to do this. Otherwise, if I think that you guys are actually singing it as well, then it'll make me feel better. Don't make it weird if you don't sing, okay? So we're all going to sing happy birthday to 37 Upper. And you've got to make sure that you guys also sing, okay? If you don't sing, I'm basically here by myself singing. So, Tim's going to do it. Right. Okay, is everyone ready? Happy birthday to you. You better be singing, Craig. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to 37 Hopper, the massive legend that he is. Happy birthday to you. Now pump the price of Bitcoin, you son of a bitch. Shout out to 37. You can tell us how old you are, mate. You don't have to, but shout out to 37. Craig. Put more effort into it. I was harmonious, I'll have you know. I was harmonious in that, in those shenanigans. I can't sing, you guys know that. I can rap and I can beatbox, but I can't sing, all right? That's definitely not something I'm famous for. That's definitely not something I'm famous for. All right, everybody. Back to the reality of where we are with BTC. Happy birthday, whoever it is. I'm late to the party. It's all good. Mr. 37. Jaeger Mango. Hey, brother, thanks for sharing. Do yourself a favor and put Scallop EMYC on your watch list. New global app will be launching soon. Like 100 plus companies. Still totally under everyone's radar. Happy birthday. What's it called? Scallop EMYC. Where do I find that? Is it on EM? Is it on X? Nope. Scallop? Is it called Scallop? The leading money market on the SUI network. Is it that? Man, it's hard. A CoinGecko. Okay, fine. CoinGecko. I was making that up before you even started singing to me. I want some beanbox on my birthday. I got you. No problems. Right, CoinGecko. Let me bring CoinGecko up. Hope it's great. Hope it's great day. 37 many more. Yeah, same. EMYC. Okay, let me bring this up. EMYC. It's in the game. E-Money Network, yeah? This looks like it's launched, by the way. According to Go Plus, this EMYC. EMYC. This is saying it's launched. E-Money. Bruh. What are you talking about? Oh, there. EMYC Scallop Liquidity. 2K. CoinGecko Terminal. What, for E-Money? Yeah, E-Money. Okay. Innovative. Thank you, man. See you soon. Is it this? Yeah. Scallop E-Money Network. Oh, there's quite a few that are following. Okay, I'll give it a follow. App will be launching soon. All right. It's on the list. We'll keep an eye on it. We will keep an eye on it. See where it goes. Right. Where are we at right now then? So 65,000. We just dropped below again. This short trade is continuing to print a little bit, which is kind of nice. You know, I'll take that all day long. Thank you so much. Bullish on this trade. Like I said, if you want to join us, check out the links in the description. Get involved for sure. So, yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, there's another project that reached out to me, actually. They've asked for a video, and it's called... this. So I need to do some research on it. Millionero, it's called. So, yeah, it's kind of interesting. It's kind of interesting. The chart's kind of all right as well. But, yeah, so look out for that coming soon, as long as everything sits like it should. Wayne's in the house. What's going on, Wayne? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Also, by the way, I know a couple of people are still getting a bit arsy about, like, oh, 2-bit, why don't you launch your coin? Like, again, this coin came out, like, really good dev team, really good concept, loads of cool stuff in their Telegram. Look at the state of it. Launching a coin right now is a bad idea, all right? I'm just saying. If anyone wants to go and verify all the liquidity, everything else that we took out is all sat there. Some of it's in stablecoin, some of it's in Ethereum. Contract is deployed. We just need to add liquidity in the tokens ready to rock and roll. But this is basically what happens. You just launch a coin, it goes for a little bit sideways, and then it's going to go down. So, yeah. That's, if anyone is like, oh, I'm getting pissy that you haven't launched, that's why we haven't launched it, because I generally don't think there's any point. My opinion. And actually, there's probably one person that's like, oh, bro, the market's great. Launch the coin. It's like, you literally just want to get in at the very start. You are the worst person to be involved in the coin because you're going to dump it the minute you get any money out of it. So anyway, just in my opinion. And actually, if you argue that, well, the bull market has probably only got about another 200 days left, well, let's just hang on. Let's get Ethereum rocking and rolling. Let's launch it when everyone's super hyped. Let's launch it when the White House is going all in on DeFi. Like, you know, let's do that. That seems like a sensible idea. In the meantime, I want to build some cool stuff out. I need somebody who can do Telegram coding, by the way, because I can't do it. I can't get my head around making it work. But I want to be able to say, this is what I want something to happen, and I want something to kind of, somebody to do it. So if anyone knows anyone that can do coding for Telegram, and they have to be good, by the way, right? And I don't have loads of money, but I'm down for paying some of it. But yeah. Who's pushing to get into it at this time? Oh, just some choppers in the Telegram. But I want to, like, it'd be cool to have, like, some really good stuff in the Telegram chat that, like, you know, that I want to get, like, wrecked credits as an example, that you can do it and stuff like that. To be good things come to those who wait, and it will launch when time is right. Yeah, I agree, 37. To Marpy, that won't happen. Yeah, that won't happen this time. What happened? What was the other one? What was the other one that they were in? BRL. I haven't seen that, actually. What about Tim? It was on ETH, wasn't it? Oh, yeah, here we go. What is this doing right now? Oh, there. USDC. Oh, really, Curtis? Yeah, so this was the project that I think we got screwed for. What a waste of time. Oh, no. No, like I said, I reached out to, I'm not going to disclose any names, but, you know, they were like, hey, yeah, we could do that. It's like $1,000. And just like, okay, probably not. Probably not. Oh, my brother's been learning to code past 2 years. As in coding, like, is it Python they have on Telegram? Basically, DM me because I want to. Yeah, I want to build some stuff. Right, I want to build some stuff out, which would be cool. Well, it's not even someone who I just need someone who can do it. So we did get something coded from Arbit. It was kind of all right. It was dead clunky. I need to obviously work out a server and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, look, I just want something that's going to keep people in the Telegram, that basically has a reason to kind of keep buying the coin. That's dead simple. I've got a couple of ideas that I wrote down that I thought could be kind of cool in there. And how you can then sort of keep some real good community engagement going while at the same time sort of supporting the coin. So I'd be dead curious to chat to them. But yeah, I think it's Python code. I just can't get my head around it. I've tried and I've tried and I've tried. I literally learned HTML to build the WreckRabbit website. Now, I didn't build it all. I'm not claiming that this was all me, but like I did learn to code some of this stuff and code like how to change the size of this, how to integrate new, images, how to code all this sort of stuff, like how to change all these. This is all me. I did all of this, how to code this in. Like I literally taught myself, HTML. That's why some of it's a little bit off. Like this is weird. Look, you see how it goes like over the top and it shouldn't do. But yeah, I can't do it, which is kind of annoying. But yeah. Anyway, so keep your eye out for this. Like I said, we are not launching it just yet, but we'll see. Launch guys, sure. Yeah, look, it depends how you do it, though. It does depend how you do it. I think a lot of people launch a coin with ill intentions, and my view's never been that. And equally, I think if you can, don't forget, I live stream every single day. So if people want to like, hey, you fucking took some money out, we can literally go on chain and check it out. And I think, look, that's kind of what happened with the previous one. It was a bit like, well, we can prove that the only person that's down, and the person that was down the most was me. It's still to this day, probably the best part of like 15K something down on that initial project. Like loads of people, interesting enough, people that are now no longer part of this community, and not through me, by the way, they just left, took the money and went. But what can you do? Sometimes it is unfortunately just life. But yeah, I can ask him if you like, but understand. Yeah, ask him if he's down for doing Python coding that, we can make. It has to be seamless. It has to work and all this kind of stuff. Then I'd be dead curious to, to speak to him, which would be cool, actually. So yeah, cool. All right, everybody. Well, look, let's keep an eye on the market. Certainly going on right now. I'm going to keep this short trade open. Remember, if you want to join me over on Weex Trading, link is in the Discord or in the description. And yeah, I won't be live tomorrow night. I know some of you that's going to be gutting. I'll be back Sunday night with all the latest and greatest in crypto. We'll be taking a view of the markets. We'll be seeing what is going on, and more importantly, setting us up for next week. Big data releases on the Monday. That is what we're going to be looking out for. So until then, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you guys sparing a little bit of your time to come and hang out. As always, you know that you're never taken for granted, and I 100% do appreciate you guys tuning in. So if you haven't already hit the like button, do so. Subscribe to the channel, and we're back on Sunday night, bringing all the latest and greatest in the crypto market. See you soon, everybody.